well?
Back a little bit, create more space. Thank you, brother. Maybe not yours, because of the camera.
Please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
This is not for you. They said that you guys are on diets. Now I don't want to start a fight, but clearly there's not enough for the amount of guys you are. And I have this issue with people eating during my lectures. So with your permission, I'm going to leave these here, and then afterwards, if it's okay, then you can grab some on your way out. Is that all right? Is that acceptable? And Amir al-Mu'mineen does say, al-ilmu fil ju'. Ilm is in hunger. So eating during lectures, it's a bit iffy, unless you're Iranian. But that's a separate matter. They do that. Recite another loud salawat. MashaAllah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله قاصم الجبارين كبير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين والصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي اسمه في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين الهداة المهديين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمهم الفداء ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وقتليهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم ملعونين. أما بعد, for the happiness of Hazrat Zahra Marziyah, for the enlightenment of the graves of your Madhumeen, of the graves of the Shuhada, Ulama and Siddiqeen, for the safety of the Shia of Ali Muhammad around the world, and for the destruction of the enemies of Tashayyu around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam arwahun al-Fida. Please recite aloud as-salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
We have twice the amount of people that we've had, and yet the salawat is still the same. How is that possible? Recite aloud salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rahman, Rahim. One that has given us this opportunity and life enough to again observe Laylatul Qadr, to sit also in the morning of Amirul Mu'mineen. And all praise is due to that Lord who placed us amongst the followers of that Imam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throughout every surah, every ayah of the Holy Quran is reciting his praise and his virtues. Muawiyah, in one of the narrations after the death of Amirul Mu'mineen, goes to visit Mecca. And they complain to him. They say, Muawiyah, we have a problem. He says, what is the problem? They say, Ibn Abbas is doing the tafsir of the Holy Quran. He says, who better than Ibn Abbas to do tafsir of the Holy Quran? He is the cousin of the Prophet. He is part of the family within which the wahi came. They say, no, you don't understand. He's not doing the tafsir of the Quran. In reality, he is reciting the fada'il and the virtues of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Muawiyah says he's reciting the virtues of Ali. Says, I'm going to go and make sure that I disrupt the class. Those that are interested in Minhaj al-Wilaya of Ayatollah Karini Gulbaygani. So he says, I'm going to go and disrupt the class. So he goes to the class. He sits at the back, but he tries at every moment, and he's unable to stand up and disrupt it, because Ibn Abbas is delivering a class with such passion and such fervor that he can't stand up. So once the class is finished, Muawiyah stands up and he says, Ibn Abbas, what was this? Ibn Abbas says, the tafsir of the Quran. He says, Muawiyah says that, was this tafsir of the Holy Quran, or was this the virtues of Ali ibn Abi Talib? Ibn Abbas looks at Muawiyah and says, Muawiyah, you tell me, where is there not the virtues of Ali within the Quran? You tell me where there is not the virtues of Ali within the Holy Quran. Muawiyah says, what do you mean? Ibn Abbas says, I'll recite the ayah. You tell me whether or not these are the virtues of Ali. So Muawiyah says, I accept. Ibn Abbas starts. He says, إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرْ وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. We sent you but as a warner, and to every nation a guide we also sent. What do you say about this? Muawiyah says, yes, I accept that the Holy Prophet said that I am the warner of this nation and Ali is the guide of this nation. But Ibn Abbas, the whole Quran is there. Why did you just select this one ayah? There are so many other ayahs. You should have selected another ayah. Ibn Abbas says, no problem. إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلِ الْبَيْتِ. Muawiyah puts his head down. He says, yes, this is the ayah about the purity and the ismat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. But oh Ibn Abbas, why did you select this ayah? You should have selected another ayah. Ibn Abbas says, إِنَّمَا وَلِيَكُمُ اللَّهُ وَالرَّسُولُ. Allah is your wali, the Rasul is your wali, and the one who gives zakat in the state of ruku. Muawiyah says, yes, this too was revealed for Ali. He was the only one that gave his ring in the state of ruku. Many tried after him to give their rings, but for no one was an ayah revealed except for Ali ibn Abi Talib. But Ibn Abbas, why select this ayah? Why not select something else? Why use this? There's the whole Quran. Ibn Abbas replies, he says, okay, Muawiyah, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ. And tell the people of the good news. Muawiyah again says, yes, I accept that the Holy Prophet said that Ali is Naba'ul Azim, and Ali's wilayah is what will be asked of the people on Yawm al-Qiyamah. But oh Ibn Abbas, why is it that you are selecting this ayah? Select another ayah. Ibn Abbas says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And hold fast to the rope of Allah. Muawiyah says, yes, I accept. Ali was the rope of Allah, and the Holy Prophet said, whoever holds on to Ali after me will never be disunited. But Ibn Abbas, why select this ayah? There are so many other ayahs. Select another ayah. Muawiyah is again trying to stop him. Ibn Abbas turns around. He says, Muawiyah, قُلْ تَعَالُوا نَدْعُوا أَبْنَاءَنَا وَأَبْنَاءَكُمْ وَنِسَاءَنَا وَنِسَاءَكُمْ وَأَنفُسَنَا وَأَنفُسَكُمْ. Muawiyah says, yes, this is the ayah of Mubahila, where Ali was named as the nafs of the Prophet. But Ibn Abbas, why select this ayah? Select another ayah. Ibn Abbas says, سَأَلَ سَائِلٌ بِعَذَابٍ وَاقِعٍ. And when the questioner came to ask about the imminent adhab, Azab. Muawiyah says, yes, this is the ayah that was revealed on the day of Ghadir, when the individual questioned the Prophet and said that if this is from you, then I reject it. And if this order has come from Allah, then tell him to cast his azab upon me. Tell him to kill me now. As he walked away from the Prophet, a stone fell from the heavens and destroyed him. I accept this ayah is about the destruction of the enemies of Ali ibn Abi Talib. But why select this ayah? Ibn Abbas selects another ayah. Ibn Abbas says, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. He says again, yes, this is the ayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed upon the Holy Prophet, telling him upon the announcement of the wilayah of Ali that now the deen has been complete. But Ibn Abbas, why select this ayah? Select another one. Ibn Abbas says, Ya ayyuhal rasul balligh ma unzila ilayk. O Prophet, reveal upon the people what Allah has ordered you to reveal. And so Muawiyah again says, I accept this is the ayah that preceded the announcement of the Prophet within Ghadir. And this was where Allah ordered the wilayah of Ali to be announced to the people. But Ibn Abbas, why select this ayah? Ibn Abbas grows tired. He says, Muawiyah, you tell me, where is there not the fada'il of Ali within the Quran? Muawiyah says, why don't you recite إِذَا ذُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا? Why do you not recite the ayah of Surah Zilzal? Ibn Abbas looks at him. He says, Muawiyah, I apologize, but this too is the virtue of Ali. He says, how is it the virtue of Ali? He says, not many days after the Holy Prophet had died, that an earthquake struck Medina. An earthquake struck Medina. All of the inhabitants of Medina left their homes. They came out into the open. The earth would not stop shaking. We saw that Ali came out from his house. He started walking forward. He was reciting something. He was reciting إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. When he reached into the middle of the inhabitants of Medina, Ali stamped his foot upon the ground and he said, O earth, Abu Turab is ordering you, stop shaking. The earth stopped shaking. From that day until this day, whenever anyone recites this ayah, O Muawiyah, Ali is the person that comes to mind. Muawiyah says, Muawiyah says, Ibn Abbas, why don't you come out with it? Why don't you admit it? Say what you're trying to say. Say that until there is Quran, there is the name of Ali. This is the Imam that you follow. This is the Imam that you claim to love. This is that Imam who you turn to at the time of difficulty. This is the Imam who you put all your hopes in. This is Ali.
Subhanallah. 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 Subhanallah.
We have a duty to the Imam. Have we fulfilled our duties to Amir al-Mu'mineen? Have we fulfilled what he wanted from us? That responsibility that we have been given, that amana that we have been given. Because sometimes we say that one of the bad traits is the individual that does not keep the amana. When someone gives them a secret or gives them something, they always either reveal that secret or someone says, don't open this, can you keep it? And they try and open it to have a peek. We have been given an amana, and the greatest amana that we have been given is the one that we turn against constantly. Assalamu alayka ya Amin Allah fi ardih. In Ziyarat Amin Allah, we refer to Amir al-Mu'mineen as the amana of Allah upon the earth. The wilayah of Amirul Mu'mineen is a wilayah for each and every one of us. The wilayah is a amana for each and every one of us. We are required to fulfill the rights of this love that we claim to have. It's not just the half attempt. It's not just lip service. Our discussions have centered around the hadith of Mi'raj. The Holy Prophet raises to the heavens, Ya Ahmed, abghaz al-dunya wa ahlaha, wa hibb al-akhirati wa ahlaha. O Ahmed, hate the dunya and its people, love the akhirah and its people. And then the Holy Prophet asks, what are the traits of the people of the dunya? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lists 20 traits of the people of the dunya. The first is that they eat too much. The second is they sleep too much. The third is they laugh too much. They're often angry. They lack satisfaction. What's next? Sorry? They don't forgive. Next. And they don't accept apologies of others, yes? What else? They don't apologize, yeah? They're lazy in worship and courageous in sin. And I'm sure everyone remembers the references to Bay yesterday, because apparently there was some big Twitter thing going on about the Bay on the me saying something about Bay. So some Twitter storm. But inshallah, at least now we remember it. So they're courageous in sin, lazy when it comes to worship. They have false expectations, long, far-fetched hopes. And they forget that their death is near. Oh, I should mention something actually before I forget. I said something yesterday which probably none of you got, and someone highlighted it to me afterwards. I spoke about hoovering. Now, does anyone know what hoovering is? Thank you. Who set me up with this? Someone told me no one knew what hoovering is. Yeah, so hoovering is vacuuming, as you would put it. So it's just, when I was speaking about hoovering the Husayniyah, I meant vacuuming. I don't know, people went home probably with that hoovering the Husayniyah. What is it? So, and then I think yesterday I may have mentioned car park. And it turns out you don't know what a car park is. So, you mean parking lot, right? Okay. Yeah, so I thought I'd just clarify that. And if there's anything else like that, just let me know and I'll get a translator in and try and figure it out. I've got Google Translate on my phone. It does do American English as well. So they have false expectations and they forget that they are to die. They forget that their death is near. لا يحاسب نفسه. They do not take account of themselves. Trait 10. They do not take account of themselves. Muhasibah is one of the most important tools in spiritual development or spiritual upliftment. Muhasibah is one of those things that is essential if you want to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't, it's not a problem. Do what you want. That is as easy as it is. You don't want to follow the faith, don't follow it. It doesn't reduce from Allah. It doesn't reduce from the A'immah. But like we said yesterday, you want to join this club, you want to claim to follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you follow the religion in its totality. You submit totally. Don't let anyone ever tell you, and this is one of those bombshells, that Islam never came to make you free. Islam didn't come to give you freedom. Okay? If anyone ever told you Islam is about freedom, they lied. Or they didn't lie, they probably were trying to be politically correct. Islam did not come to make you free. There is no such thing as freedom within Islam. Islam came to make you abd of Allah. It came to make you a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But through that servitude, you become free of anything else that ties you down. You raise above all others, all other sort of chains. They are all broken when you fall in the servitude of Allah. If you don't want to fall in the servitude of Allah, that's fine. Go around, don't wear hijab, don't grow a beard, don't pray, don't pay khums. But don't claim to love Allah, don't claim to love the Imams, and do the total opposite to what they taught us. So one of the stages in our development towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is muhasibah. Ahlul Dunya do not do muhasibah. Ahlul Dunya, they don't do muhasibah. Muhasibah is taking account of oneself. At the end of every day, the seventh Imam says the one that does not take account of himself at least once a day, he is not from us. He is not from us. And then the teachers of akhlaq, they say that although the one time is the recommended amount, but go one step further, do muhasibah twice a day. Once after your salat al-dhuhr, and the other after everything has finished and you're in bed. See how you have been up until the time of dhuhr. Have you gone closer to Allah, or have you moved away from Allah? And then prepare yourself for the later stages of the day. Then when you get to bed at night, then start thinking, how did I do from dhuhr until now? And then make the intention to do the next day better. Use each day as a stepping stone to a better day. And aim for excellence. Allahumma balligh imani akmal al-iman. Those of you that are familiar with Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq, the opening lines that Imam al-Sajjad opens the whole dua with, Allahumma balligh imani akmal al-iman. My Lord, give me the perfection in my iman. When we ask at the lowest level. We try and coast through Islam. Okay, we try and, sort of find an easy way out. Try and find the middle ground. Okay, I need to pay forms, but in 10 years' time, I might have to buy a house, so maybe I won't pay it right now. Yes? And we start making these excuses. We try to coast the way through. I want to wear hijab, but I don't want to wear hijab, so I'll wear half an hijab. Yeah, coast the way through. Neither are, I don't pay khums. Yeah, not valid reason. Don't wear half a hijab, not a valid hijab. They're just, neither of them may as well be there. You may as well not make the intention. I'm going to pray, but I'm going to miss this salah, I'm going to miss that salah. Oh, why? What's the point? If you're not, it's as bad as, and we're working towards it, but this is the higher realms. When a person enters into salah, according to the Arafah, according to the teachers of akhlaq and the Gnostics, any thought, ghayr Allah, any thought other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shirk. So not the fact that I'm just, doing shirk, but the fact that I am thinking about something other than Allah in my salah. And I do that all the time. Allahu Akbar. Oh yeah, that's where my keys are. Oh. that, okay, I can figure that finance out like this. Yeah, and that's my salah. At the higher realms, when we'll talk about wara and the difference between taqwa and wara in the later lectures, and you'll see that there are certain things that are halal at one level or perfectly fine at another level. At a higher level, they become makruh or haram for you, and then certain things are mustahab and other things become like wajib upon you. Like for example, for students of the religion, everyone else, Salatul Layl is mustahab. The recommendation for students of the religion, they should pray it like a wajib salah and not miss it. Yeah? So there is this distinction as a person progresses. Again, if it's not too much bother, could everyone just squeeze slightly forward, the backing right up against the door. I'm going to have a sort of it's okay, squeeze, show the love. It's all about love. The other problem is we're always so angry. The Quran is always about the love. Yeah. We start with the love, and then we get somewhere. We start with hell. What we do is, I'll speak about it later in the later lectures, but what we do is we're basically like to our kids, you do this, you're going to hell. 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 If you do this half, you're going to hell. If you do this, you're going to hell. If you don't do this, you're going to hell. But if by any stretch of dumb luck, you don't end up in hell, there's this little thing called heaven. And you can go there. But, whereas in reality there's heaven, 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 and you've got to be really a rotten individual to end up in hell. I mean, really rotten. Allah says it to the Hazrat Adam, look at in the Holy Quran. He says it's whole gardens for you, halal, 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 everything, everything, everything. Gives him all of halal. La taqrabu hadha shajar. But just don't go near this particular plant. You start with love. But that was a side point. Muhasibah, taking account of oneself. Seeing exactly where that person is. Constantly. And people were asking, how is it that I can control my anger? Or how is it that I can control all the things that you've been speaking about, the greed and the lying and these sort of things? The way to control it is by doing muhasibah, to contemplate at the incident, to contemplate after the incident, to dissect it and realize, why is it I became angry? Why is it that I started doing this haram? Why is it that I ended up where I am? Muhasibah. So Ahl Dunya, they do not do muhasibah. This is what makes some people of the dunya. قَلِيلُ الْمَنْفَعَ وَكَثِيرُ الْكَلَامِ. They are of little benefit to the people, or of no benefit to the people, but yet they talk a big game. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Now what they do is, someone else does all the work, and then they're like, oh yeah, you know, it was so hard, we were there, and we were there till the middle of the night, vacuuming the Husseiniya. I can use hoovering now, I've taught you like the proper English word for it. So, like the hoovering the Husseiniya, and you know, things that, I don't know, see, this is like sort of, why I pointed towards you guys when I said hoovering. And then recite aloud salawat, please. So some people, they talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. Some people will join on the back of the bandwagon, and people, you know, have made careers out of this. They'll join the back of the bandwagon, or they'll join some sort of you know, movement, and then they'll go to the front and take all the benefit from it, and all the limelight and whatever. So now, we obviously, we may come across someone like that within our lives, but it's how do we stop becoming like that? You know, we need to understand exactly, what it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what it is that the A'immah wants from us. So when we look at Nahj al-Balagha, and we see there is a narration from Amir al-Mu'mineen, where he says, لا تكن ممن يرجع الآخرة بغير العمل. Do not hope for your akhirah without action. Do not hope for your akhirah without action. That you ain't going to follow the religion properly, but then you somehow think that the imams will intercede. No, you have to follow the religion. It's not that just because I claim to love Allah or I claim to love Amirul Mu'mineen, my actions don't show it, but I'll be alright because I'll just say Ya Ali. Yeah? And Imam Hussein, I cry for Imam Hussein and that'll be enough. No, that's not enough. Action is required. What is the point otherwise? What is the point? And actually, that only it boils down to you. I mean, I can say whatever I wanted to you. I could say, and I could go blue in the face as much as I could with this complexion. Go blue in the face and try and tell you to follow the religion. Try and tell you to wear proper hijab. Try and tell you to pray. Try and tell you to grow a beard. But it ain't gonna happen. And there's only one thing that will stop it, because the Imam could sit here and say it. We won't change unless we want to change ourselves. It's as simple as that. There's no point me attending a masjid going, I'm going to hope for change, or I'm looking for a husband and I want him to make me more religious, or I'm looking for a spouse, I want her, a wife, and I want her to be like Fatima Zahra, she was going to make me pray. No, there is no way that she's going to make you pray. There is no way he's going to make you a better person unless you yourself want to be a better person. Unless you yourself want to get closer to Allah. Ain't nobody going to change your life unless you change your own life.
Very well.
No one else will change it. Because you see that the Imams lived in proximity with people like Bishr al-Hafi. Bishr al-Hafi is that person that lived on the same street as Imam al-Kadhim. In the morning as the Imam is going around, Bishr's slave comes out of the house. She's coming and she's carrying rubbish from the party before. Music is playing from the house of Bishr. Loud laughing and joking and merrymaking sounds are coming from his house. She's come out with some leftover food and she's thrown it on the rubbish pile. The Imam has seen her and she hasn't recognized the Imam. She says that, Imam says to her, whose house is that? She says, this is the house of Bishr al-Hafi. Or Bishr, as he was known then. Bishr says, is Bishr a ghulam? Is he a slave? Is he an abd? Or is he a free man? She starts laughing. She says, he's a free man. I am his slave. Imam nods his head and says, yes, surely he is a free man. Because had he been an abd, he would not turn against his master in the way that he has. And he walked off. She goes back inside the house and she tells Bishr, she says, I saw a man, he was dark-skinned, skinny, and he stopped me and asked if you were the free man, whether you were a free man or a slave, and I laughed and I said that you were the free man, I was your slave. Bishr was holding a bottle of wine in his hand. He said, what did he look like? He said, like this. He said, must have been Imam al-Kadhim. He says, what did you say to him? She says, I said to him that, of course he's a free man, I am his slave. Then what did he say? He said, yes, surely he must be a free man. Because if he was a slave, he would never have disrespected or disobeyed his master in the way that he has. Bishr holding that wine bottle in his hand, drops it to the ground. He runs out, leaving his shoes in the house, runs after Imam al-Kadhim. He catches up with the Imam. He says, Mawla, until this point I was a free man, but from now on I guarantee that my every moment of my life will be led as an abd of Allah. He's known as Bishr al-Hafi because after that point he never wore shoes again, in repentance for what he did. No one can change us unless we want to change ourselves. The Imam says, do not hope for the Akhirah without any action, and do not delay your tawbah because of long, far-fetched expectations. I'll do istighfar later, let me just sign this deal. I'll do istighfar later, let me just, go into this pub and meet with the managers. Pub, restaurant, alcohol place, anywhere that sells alcohol. And go in there, and I'm only going to have an orange juice. And I'm going to go sit with my managers because this is how I get up in the company. Haram. Just making it clear. This is how I go up in the company. You got there through the route of haram, you will never see its success. You may see temporary success for a little while, but after it, that money will catch up with you. That haram will catch up with you, either in the qabr or when it comes to the recognition of the imam of your time. Many were unable to recognize their imam. Many were unable to. Do not delay your tawbah because of long, far-fetched hopes and expectations. And there are those people, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, يَقُولُ فِي الدُّنْيَا بِقَوْلِ الزَّاهِدِينَ. They speak the speech or they talk the talk of the pious. But yet when it comes to their amal, when it comes to their action, they act like sinners. They talk about Imam Hussein. They talk about Allah, they tweet about Allah, they retweet people's tweets, they put Facebook statuses about Allah, they put up little black boxes saying this profile's in mourning. They go up and every Muharram they change that picture and they make it to Dhul Fiqar, or they make it the horse of Imam al-Hussein, and they do all of this, they talk it. But when it actually comes to their real action, there's no actual showing of the action. Tweeting, retweeting, posting updates, taking pictures for stuff on Instagram is all well and good. But if there's no essence behind it, if we don't have any soul within our actions, then it's fruitless. In fact, our punishment becomes twice as bad, because the Munkar and Nakir, they actually move with the times as well, right? They're not going to question you about 1400 years ago. So you will probably get questioned at how you acted on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, all right. So you were, do you remember this click? You remember the like that you did? MashaAllah, sister. One of those ones. Yeah. You'll be questioned in regards to your intentions when you did that action. Imam al-Khomeini rahmatullah alayhi came in the dream of someone after he died, and they said, how is it in the Akhirah? How was the last stages? He said it was very difficult. It was very difficult. I was questioned about everything, including when I used to raise my hands to send salams upon the people when I was in front of them. What was my intention behind the raising of that hand? Can you imagine? We've got a slumber party going on. It's with him and everything. MashaAllah. It's okay, I'm joking. Recite the loud salawat. So, for every action you're asked. So don't think that, I'm doing it on social media and it's like somewhere like a place absent of God, although it looks like it at times. It's not. Everything will be questioned. Oh, okay, so why is it that you put up this relationship goals? Or why is it, you know, a relationship goals with Bay on the beach watching the sunrise or something, I don't know, something crazy. You see all these different things, right? I only date beasts, guys with big bits. Like, come on, for God's sake, modesty, you know, haya is out the window. And when we speak about it tomorrow, the day after, we're going to talk about modesty and we'll talk about all of these issues. You see, when haya, when modesty is out the window, then it starts going that way. When we're unable to concentrate, when we're unable to focus on our actions and not differentiate between halal and haram, this is what happens. So Ahl al-Dunya are those, they are of little benefit to people, but yet they speak a big game. There's so much I wanted to say, but unfortunately, because time was quite short today, we'll try and speak through this. When it comes to speaking specifically, there are certain things we can speak, and when I say speaking, I also mean typing and texting and all sorts of other things that are linked to it. You know, someone came to Amir al-Mu'mineen and said, Ya Ali, what is the best thing that Allah created? And Amir al-Mu'mineen said, speech. And they said, what is the worst thing that Allah ever created? And he said, speech. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen said that the speech is that thing that illuminates the face and also removes the nur from the face. Just your words, they can raise you or lower you in realms of spirituality, in realms of transcendence. You are one step. There are narrations that say, at times, you are but a spear's throw away from the Zat, from the essence of Allah, and with one or two words, you get placed as far away as the Mount of Sinai. Just words, and they affect us in such a massive way. They're only words, but yet their effect is profound. Now imagine the one who is accustomed to swearing. When we're accustomed to swearing, this is something below the tongue, below the ni'mah of Allah. You see, there was a time when the fourth Imam was walking with one of his companions. This companion was so close to the Imam, they said that everywhere he would go, the Imam would, wherever the Imam would go, this companion would be with him, constantly by his side. One day the Imam is walking with this companion, and this companion calls his slave. He doesn't reply. He calls him the second time. He doesn't reply. He calls him the third time. He doesn't reply. He turns around and he swears at him. He calls out and he says, "Oh, the son of a woman of ill repute." In anger, he swears. When he swears at him, Imam stops. He looks at him and he says, "What did you say?" He says, "What did you call him?" He said, "I called him the son of a woman of ill repute." The Imam says that according to his religion, were his parents not married? He says, "Yes, but Imam, he's my slave. I mean, you know, he's a Jewish slave. I mean, you know why?" And the Imam's like, "No. Were they or were they not married according to his faith?" Said, "Yes, they were." "So why is it that you refer to him like this? Until I am alive, do not come near me again." One individual that was with the Imam side by side at every single stage, one swear word in front of the Imam goes, "I don't want you by my side." And the individual died while the Imam was still angry with him. Now tell me, where is his shafa'ah? And we too await an Imam. We too desire to be in the army of the Imam of our time. Look at the battle of Siffin. Amir al-Mu'mineen, after the battle of Siffin, he calls Malik al-Ashtar and Hajar bin Adi. Now Malik al-Ashtar, Hajar bin Adi, they're not any normal individuals. Amir al-Mu'mineen calls them. He says, "It has come to my knowledge that you swore at some of my enemies." Very important point. My enemies. You swore at my enemies. Says, yes, Mawla, we were there in the heat of battle. We went all the way there. And what happened is, as we got close to them, they swore at you. Note what they said. They swore at Amirul Mu'mineen. So in your defense, Ya Ali, we swore back at them. Amirul Mu'mineen says that it does not suit our Shias. Laysa sababun. Do not be from amongst those that accustom their tongues to swearing. Do not be from amongst them. If I ever hear of this again, I will tell you to leave my ways. Ali does not like it, even if you were to swear at his enemies. Let alone your friends, the mu'mineen, your parents, na'udhu billah. His enemies, Ahlul Bayt, won't even accept a swear word against their enemies. And there's me swearing here, swearing in every sentence every sentence I say, I've got to swear in it. It's a horrible habit to have. And we think that the Imam's going to accept us when his grandfathers rejected so many because of it. And even the sisters are getting in on the act. Like, usually it was a reserved, sort of thing, but right now, you look at all sorts, and I'm not saying you specific sisters, by the way, I'm making a general point, that even now, women are created from the Jamal of Allah. They are created from the aspects of His beauty. It does not befit you to lower yourself. Men are created from the Jalal of Allah, the honor of Allah, the magnanimity of Allah. It does not befit your status that you bring your tongue down to that level that you swear. Or accustom your tongue to swearing, or accustom your tongue to ghiba. We say, oh, we're speaking about someone, this is ghiba, it's okay, it's fine, I said this about this person. I said, no, look, this is ghiba. So no, it's true. The fact that it's true, it is ghiba. If it was not true, it's tuhmat. The fact that it's true, it's ghiba. If it is something bad about someone, and you're telling someone who does not know about it, that is ghiba. That is like eating the flesh of your dead brother, as is in Surah Hujurat. That is that crime that Allah will not forgive you for, unless the person who you did ghiba about forgives you. And if they refuse to forgive you, the narration states, until you are alive, every time you remember them, you must do istighfar for them, in the hope that Allah may have mercy for you, or they may forgive you on Yawm al-Qiyamah. For us, it's staple. It's like, I want to know. Even if it's about me, I want to know. And our food doesn't digest. The best time to do ghiba is when we're sitting at the dinner table. Huh? We're like, oh yeah, did you hear about? Or when we're in the masjid, sitting in the masjid, and we're sitting down to eat. So, they can't make this food properly, see, they've gone too much with the salt. I don't know why they get this guy. He's always out there doing this and that, and it sort of kind of helps us to digest. It's the irony, when sin becomes something that we enjoy, we savor. I enjoy sinning, I enjoy doing all of this. It's difficult. Speaking too much. The narration says, beware of speaking too much, for it increases. And it's difficult for us in our position. We have to speak so much. All we do is speak. And sometimes, and when we don't speak, people are like, are you feeling okay? You're not speaking. But it says, beware of speaking too much, for it increases mistakes and creates boredom in your crowd. Boredom, well, I see people leaving, so I'm guessing they're bored. But when you speak, there has to be a certain level that you speak at. What do I mean by that? Muttering is not acceptable. There's people like, sorry, what do you say? No, the trait of the people of Jannah, according to the Holy Prophet, one of the traits is lisanun fasihun latif. They speak with an eloquent tongue and they speak good words. They speak in a nice way to the people. They speak, in the best of ways to people. But speaking too much is problematic. Speaking the right amount and reducing, silence is haram. Like if someone said, I'm going to do a sponsored silence, not allowed. Yeah, so like I'm doing a sponsored silence for Najaf, for somewhere, I don't know, all sorts of people do crazy stuff, right? Like even now, I'm gonna walk to Karbala from Najaf. You sponsor me. Like, come on, man. There's people crawling from Iran. We from the UK just flown over with our high-tech shoes on and everything, and we're gonna walk and sponsor me, please. Yeah, please. There is a certain level of spirituality. There is a certain level of akhlaq. You are going towards the Imam. For God's sake, if you want to take people's donations, take them with you. But don't turn the whole walk into something that is commercial. This is the problem with our mindset here. And my words probably won't make any sense. Go home and listen to think about them, and inshallah they might make some sense. If not, then it's just probably me. So talking too much is problematic. Silence is problematic. So what is good? Reducing the amount we speak. Speaking only enough that's enough to, convey a message. Not constantly just blabbering on for the sake of it. Reducing, and it's really easy. Especially for you sisters, that easy. Because, all you have to do is come to the masjid and stay quiet. That's difficult, I know, I heard it in that hall in there, it's just like nigh on impossible, but if you take it as a tip, okay, now I'm in the masjid, I'm not going to speak. When Maulana is speaking, or namaz is going on, or azan is being recited, or Quran is being recited, or dua is being recited, you can eat when eating. You can speak when eating. But it's a really easy way of doing it, right? We usually speak all throughout the day. So when we come to the mosque, I'm going to reduce the amount we speak. Same with us as well. We'll reduce the amount we speak. Reducing the amount we speak increases a person's taqwa, increases his wisdom, increases her wisdom, increases that inclination towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more we reduce the amount we speak, the closer we get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's as simple as that. And we can only get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we actually desire it ourselves. No one can make us do it. No one can. I can come and recite for you as many ashras as you want. But it won't make a difference unless you actually want to change. No one could tell me to change unless I want to change. This is the reality of it. And like I said yesterday, these are the days of the morning of don't let these tears, don't let them be wasted, don't let them be thrown away. This azar that we have is very important. The azar that we have, I see this mass exodus that happens as soon as the matam starts, as soon as the latan starts. What is this? These are the tears of Fatima Zahra that we have here. This azar has reached us from the blood of countless shuhada. What was given in Karbala was not something, and this latam or this matam and stuff is not something that we've made up. Someone goes to the sixth Imam, says, can I do buka for Imam al-Hussein? He says, kullu buka'in makruh illa bil-Hussein. Except upon Imam Hussein. All of it is makruh except on Aba Abdullah. When you do it there, all your sins are forgiven. If you do it over Ahlul Bayt, all your sins are forgiven. Then he says that, can I do this, this, this? The Imam says, look, wait. It is best for you to do the same thing that the women of Ahlul Bayt did in order to mourn. He said, what did the women of Ahlul Bayt do? He said they struck their faces, they struck their chest, they struck their thighs. This is not something that we have made up. You know, we get slightly liberal. We think, you know what? We made it up. We don't need to do it. No, we don't need to do it. It's a level of ma'rifah. It's a level of understanding. It is a level of love. The least we can do is ask Allah to create that love while we're standing there. If we don't believe in it, don't do it. But at least ask Allah, Ya Allah, why is it that there is a hate of azar in my heart when Hussein gave everything for this azar? Why is there a hate for this azar in my heart when even on his deathbed Amirul Mu'mineen is referring to Abu Abdullah? Because they say when Amirul Mu'mineen laid upon his deathbed and all the people began crying, all his children were crying around him, and he began looking at each and every one of them, and he looked towards his son Hassan, and he said, Hassan, soon you will be poisoned by this ummah, such that that poison will course through his body. That poison that coursed through the body of Imam al-Hassan, it affected the liver of Imam al-Hassan, such that when he began to vomit, parts of the liver of Imam al-Hassan came out. Then he looked towards Zainab and said, Zainab, this is that same Kufa that you will come to. And then he looked towards Abu Abdullah. He said, Hussein, let everyone else cry, but you, myself, you don't cry for me. Because Hussein, in Karbala, what you will face in Karbala, Hussein, will be like what anyone, like no one else has faced. Amirul Mu'mineen begins giving his wasiyah. He sees his son Abbas standing in the corner. He says, Abbas, come to me. Abbas comes towards him. Amirul Mu'mineen hugs his son Abbas. He begins kissing the arms of Abbas. You know those arms of Abbas? Those arms that were cutting Karbala, trying to bring water for the women of Ahlul Bayt, trying to bring water for the children of Ahlul Bayt. Those arms that when Abbas fell, when Sayyidah appears in the dream of an alim, she says that, oh alim, when you recite the Masa'ib of Abbas, make sure you recite this line, that when everyone else fell from their horses, they had their hands to support them. But when Abbas fell from his horse, he had no hands to support him. He fell upon his face to the plains of Karbala. Ya akhi adrik akhak, oh brother, come to the aid of your brother. Amirul Mu'mineen begins kissing Abbas. Then he gives his wasiyah to his children. He says to Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein, when I die, when you place me in my tabut, you lift it from the back, from the front, the malaikas, Jibreel and Mikael will lift it, and they will take you, and wherever they go, follow it, and they will take you to the place where Nabi Nuh has already dug my grave for me. Nuh dug it for me. When you reach there, begin to dig it, and you will see a grave that has been prepared for me. Imam gives his wasiyah to his children. They say that they saw his legs begin to stretch out, and then he looks towards the corner. He says, Salamu alayka ya Rasulullah. Amirul Mu'mineen begins, and his soul departs from his body. We cry for Ali, we cry for Amirul Mu'mineen, but I swear to you, I think that the death of Amirul Mu'mineen was relief for Ali. It was relief from the oppression that Ali faced. It was relief for Ali. For 30 years Ali cried. For 30 years Ali went out into the wilderness and wept inside the well. He spoke to the well when Hujjar saw him and said that, Ya Ali, why are you doing this? He says, because in my chest there is such a pain that no one can bear. Only the earth can bear it. Ya Ali, what was your pain? What was that pain? For 30 years Ali would see Mughayra and Konfod. He would see the ones that slapped his wife. That pain that Ali felt was he was in the house. They set fire to the door. They set fire to the door. The daughter of Rasulullah was behind the door begging with them, pleading with them. This is the house of wahi. This is the house that the Prophet would ask for for permission before entering. Will you burn this house down? The mal'oon says yes. He kicks open the door. Fatima is crushed between the wall and the door. She falls to the ground. Ya Fidda khudini. Oh Fidda, come and help me. Sayyidah falls to the ground. I'm not sure if Ali saw this, because they entered into the house. They tied ropes around the neck of Ali. They began dragging him to the masjid. Sayyidah again stands in the way. She again stands to defend her imam. The mal'oon steps forward. He slaps Sayyidah. The mal'oon slaps Sayyidah. She falls to the ground. Then Kunfuth takes the cover of his sword. He begins to beat the body of Sayyidah as she lies upon the ground. Ali is watching. He is dragged to the masjid. Ali didn't see this. I'm sure Ali didn't see this, because when it comes to the time of giving ghusl to Fatima to Zahra, the children have been told, children, do not cry loudly in case the enemies of Fatima know and they find out that we are about to bury her. Don't cry loudly. So the children, the narration say, Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein, they had bitten on their fingers so that their cries wouldn't come out at having lost their mother. Amirul Mu'mineen is giving ghusl to Fatima to Zahra. His hand reaches a place, that broken rib, that Ali now comes out from the room crying, Wa Zahra, Wa Zahra. They go to him, say, Ya Ali, why is it you asked us to stay quiet, but yet you cry so loudly yourself? He says, you have not done Ali justice. You have not done Ali justice. It is only today that Ali has seen the injuries that Zahra hid from him, that hand that was whipped, that rib that was broken. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive the sins of our parents. Oh Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Ya Allah, those who are ill, for the illness that this woman at the age of 18, have you ever seen an 18-year-old woman walk with her back hunched? Have you ever seen an 18-year-old woman with her hair gone white? But Fatima is that woman who walks with the aid of a stick after what they did to her. This is the daughter of Rasulullah. They say when she went and she got the deeds for Fadak, and she was coming back with Imam al-Hasan, because after the death of Sayyidah, they said to Imam al-Hasan that, Hassan, why are you crying so much? Hassan, why are you crying so much? Hussein's not crying as much as you. Imam al-Hasan says, because Hussein did not see what I saw. That day when we went in order to ask for Fadak, I was with my mother. The mal'oon handed over the deeds of Fadak to Sayyidah. He took it, but the second mal'oon came after us. He came after us. He took away the deeds. He ripped them in front of my mother, and then he slapped my mother Fatima, such that she fell upon the ground. Ya Allah, for the sake of the oppression upon Sayyidah, those that are ill, Ya Allah, give them shifa'ah. Those that are in debt, clear their debts. Those with education, make them successful. Ya Allah, keep safe the Shia of Ana Muhammad around the world. Ya Allah, destroy the enemies of Tashayyu around the world. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time, and allow us to be amongst his true muntadabeen, his true awaiters, Martin Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.